and I'm pleased to be able to welcome Sylvie Mamias. Sylvie Mamias is Secretary General of Union Fleur, which is the International Flower Trade Association, and she's been doing this since 2011. She coordinates its various activities and liaises with its network of international members. She also engages on behalf of Union Fleur in advocacy activities in Brussels and beyond to promote and defend the various sizable interests of private operators involved in the international floriculture trade. So very pleased to be able to welcome Sylvie to the conference today, and please can we have the presentation now, as she's going to focus on the flower industry. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Sylvie Mamias. I'm the Secretary General of Union Fleur, the International Flower Trade Association. I would like to thank the organizers for giving me the opportunity to present at this conference and to share some perspectives on the topic of plant health from the international cut flower supply chain. I also would like to express our support to the efforts of the organizers in promoting plant health on the occasion of the International Year of Plant Health. Before I get into the specifics of the topic of plant health, I would like to explain that one of our key activities as an association is to support our members across the flower supply chain with intelligence on plant health regulatory frameworks and on their impact on market access and on the international movement of flowers from origin to destination. We have therefore a long and specific experience in interacting with operators, policymakers, and plant health authorities on these issues. Before I share more specific insights on the topic, I will put first things in context by recalling some of the key characteristics of the cut flower supply chain that explain why plant health and plant health regulations are so important for the supply chain. First of all, the cut flower supply chain is defined by very global markets that function along very dynamic flows and with very intensive cross-border movements. Secondly, cut flowers are very highly perishable products with a short life cycle. There's also a wide assortment on the market. That means a large number of flower varieties and species that are being traded all over the world, depending on seasons and trends. There is also something very specific to cut flowers. This is the peak seasons, in particular the well-known Valentine's Day and Mother's Days. On these occasions, huge volumes of flowers must reach destination markets on time. And this puts a lot of pressure on the supply chain and logistics during a few days of the year. And on the topic of logistics, efficient logistics and processes are very essential along the supply chain, from origin countries to destination markets, to ensure on-time deliveries. Also in the context, an element that is very important for the functioning and the understanding of the international cut flower supply chain is that requirements to access destination markets are becoming more and more stringent. And there is at this time a number of preconditions that must be fulfilled for cut flowers to access destination markets. It has become what we call a license to supply. And among them, among those requirements, compliance with plant health requirements are an absolute must, same as industry and international standards, intellectual property and breeders' rights, CITES requirements, and more sustainability requirements. Now, coming to the topic of plant health, there are a number of challenges that are to be mentioned. When it comes to plant health issues, it's very clear that existing and emerging plant health issues put a lot of pressure on official plant health systems. That means there is an increased pressure on origin exporting countries to tackle plant health issues at the earliest stage and before export. There is also an increased pressure on the importing destination countries to clear the shipments when they enter the market. And on top of this, there are limited resources for plant health authorities and definitely a need for targeted and optimized use of the controlling capacity. Coming more specifically to the cut flower supply chain, what is very important to keep in mind is that, as I said, the supply chain is extremely international with a lot of movement around the world, but there are on this market 5 main flower exporting countries: the Netherlands, Colombia, Ecuador, Kenya, and Ethiopia, that altogether represent 80% of all cut flowers exports. Therefore, it does put a lot of pressure on the phytosanitary certification systems at the export points, and they have to deal with large volumes and a large number of shipments at export. Similarly, when we look at the import flows, again, there is a limited number of key flower importing countries. 5 of them, Germany, the UK, the US, the Netherlands, and Russia, represent 60% of all cut flower imports. Again, it puts a lot of pressure on the phytosanitary control systems at a few limited number of import points for large volumes and number of shipments. In addition, one element that is very obvious when we monitor the actual interceptions of cut flowers at borders, and the graph there shows the situation at the European borders through the interceptions reported in the Eurofit system. What we see is that over the years, the number of import rejections are actually higher for non-compliant documents than for actual plant health issues. That means issues with specific harmful organisms, pests or bacteria that pose a threat to the European ecosystem. So this is something very striking, and that puts also a lot of pressure on the system. The amount of paperwork that the cut flower supply chain, like other agricultural supply chain, has to deal with, and the resulting interceptions that are linked to documents rather than plant health issues. So now coming to the lessons learned over the years, one point that I would like to make very clear to start with is that it is clear that a safe trade of cut flowers is an essential prerequisite for a sustainable supply chain. That means that respecting plant health rules is absolutely vital for private operators, and that appropriate plant health rules and levels of controls must be enforced at origin and at import into the destination markets in order to ensure the adequate protection of ecosystems against pest outbreaks. Similarly, and following on this, it's obvious that responsible and duly diligent supply chains are absolutely essential to safeguard plant health and to help tackle threats and emerging issues. It's therefore essential to ensure appropriate anticipation, prevention, and management of plant health issues at the earliest stage and along the whole supply chain. It's also extremely important for operators to fully integrate plant health in their risk management strategy, because it helps to limit the cost of rejections at borders of destination markets. It also helps optimize compliance costs, and it ensures a stable access to export markets in the long term, and it secures sustainable market growth for companies. Another lesson learned is that the efficient management of plant health issues at origin, that means in the production country, is evaluated, rewarded by the destination markets at the country level and not at the level of the individual operators. That means that collective effort across the supply chain is required to maximize the efficiency by actively involving the NPPOs at the origin and at the destination, operators and industry bodies. In terms of recommendation, it's very important for policymakers to ensure that a right balance is stricken between plant health imperatives to protect the ecosystems and the operational needs of supply chains. So there's no need for trade-offs on plant health, but what is needed is fast and efficient procedures, in particular because of the high perishability of floricultural products. So wherever possible, processes should be streamlined, duplications should be removed along the supply chain. There's also a need to shift to fully paperless systems, like what is promoted by the ePhyto project that we support with other agricultural sector organizations. A shift to paperless systems and digital operation will optimize processes and protect also the legitimate trade. And there's also a need to regularly review and update requirements. Another recommendation is to focus on prevention strategies and capacity building to tackle plant health issues at the earliest possible stage and avoid devastating pest outbreaks. Enforce risk-based and proportionate plant health measures at critical points along the supply chain to target control capacity on actual issues, as I mentioned before, on issues rather than on documents, and also to ensure level playing field conditions for operators. Another important element is that it's important to understand that there can't be a one-size-fits-all approach. It's very important to take account of product specificities, of regional ecosystems, and of operational needs of supply chains. Ultimately, what is very important is to favor pragmatic and collaborative approach to tackle existing and emerging plant health issues. In particular, promote a constant dialogue between NPPOs and other border agencies to align procedures and documentation requirements as much as possible and facilitate digital trading processes. It's also very important to provide efficient toolboxes to manage plant health issues, and with the toolbox also appropriate regulatory frameworks to use these tools, for example, for integrated pest management, IPM. And finally, it's important that industry and NPPOs should keep challenging each other in a productive manner. That means there should be a coordinated management of plant health risk, of inclusive processive partnerships and trust building exercises. To conclude, I would like to stress that plant health is a public good and it's a societal issue. A greater awareness and effective prevention strategies will be best achieved by promoting a constructive cooperation between public authorities and the private sector. This will ensure mutually beneficial results and safeguard at best the health of plants and of our ecosystems. Thanks very much for your attention.